Hello viewers, once again welcome back with a new topic, that is rules of debit and credit. See, the today's concept is very important for the purpose of analysis of the journal entries, and that will helpful to postpone to the ledger account. See, for the students, most of the students, to passing the journal entry is a big task in an accounting. See, if you understand the rules of debit and credit is clearly, it's a very simple task to pass the journal entry and post it into the ledger account. See, the rules of debit and credit I simplified in this format. It will easy to remember and helpful to solve the or analyze the journal entries. See, the format is in this way: types of account, increase or decrease in the types of accounts, increase or decrease in the types of accounts. Let's see one by one. First of one is asset account. If assets are increased in the company, in that case asset account will be debited. In the same way, it is decrease in the company, that should be credited. Second account is expense account. If the expense of the company is increases, that should be debited. Otherwise, if it is decreases, that should be credited. In the same way, the other account is the liabilities account. Liabilities of the company is increases, that should be credited. If it is decreases, that should be debited. And capital account and revenue account, if both accounts are increases, in that case those are credited. Otherwise, it is debited. This is the simple format of debit and credit. In very simple way, I will tell, if assets and expenses are asset account and expenses account are increases, in both the cases that should be debited. If it is decreases, then should be credited. And liability account, capital account, revenue account, these three accounts are increases, in that case it should be credited. Otherwise, it means if it is decreases, that should be debited. This is the very simplest form of rules related to debit and credit. You should remember this format very correctly and clearly. Then only you can easily pass the journal entries. See, for the clear understanding, we will solve one transaction. See here, Priya started a business with rupees 4 lakh on 30th August 2018. See here, Priya started the business of rupees 4 lakh on 30th August 2018. Here, for the business, the cash is increases. 4 lakh rupees the cash. It is increases because Priya bring 4 lakh rupees. So cash is increases. Cash is type of an asset. If asset are increases, what will happen? If assets are increases, that account should be debited. In the same way, that this 4 lakh rupee is a cash, that is helpful, that is related to the capital of the company. 4 lakh rupees Priya bring to the business, that 4 lakh rupee is considered as the capital of the company. So capital of the company is also increases, means if the capital increases, that account should be credited. Capital account is credited. Cash is a type of an asset. Here cash is increases, that's why the cash account is debited. And 4 lakh rupees in the form of a cash, it related to the capital account. Capital also increases here, that is it should be credited. Then say that should the same thing here we can post it into the format. See, the format will be in this way. First column will be debit, next will be particular, the third column will be ledger portfolio, next is debit, final column is credit. In the date column, write the date 30th 8 2018. In particular, see, be careful while writing the particulars. Particular will be cash account debited to capital account. While writing the credit account, you should write at the beginning to capital account, and in bracket you should write the narration. Narration means, or why we write the narration, because why we pass this entry, why we pass the entry, the answer will be in the narration. Narration will be write it in the bracket and start with word being. Start with the being. Commencement of the business rupees 4 lakh. You should write in this way. In the bracket you should write in the bracket being commencement of the business worth rupees 4 lakh. Or you can also write the same transaction. Priya started the business with rupees 4 lakh. Same thing you can also write it here. Or business started the business worth rupees 4 lakh. Both you can choose anyway, which one you feel easy, you can follow that method. In both the way you can write. close the bracket. And in ledger, next is ledger portfolio. See, this column now it is not useful. This column is meant for when you post this entry into the ledger account, you will write the page number of the this entry. If you pass this, if you posted this transaction in the ledger account, in that case the page number of this entry in the ledger account, that page number will be write it here. For that purpose this column will be meant for, that is ledger portfolio. Next is debit column. In debit column, write the amount. It is 4 lakh rupees. See here, 4 lakh rupees. It is of cash account. Cash account is 4 lakh, debited 4 lakh rupees. In credit column it is nil. Then to capital account, debit column will be nil. Credit is 4 lakh rupees. This is how we will pass the journal entries. See, to pass this journal entries, you should thoroughly understand, remember this format. When you understand this format, no, passing the journal entry is a very simplest task. Okay, let's move with the another transaction that will be easy for you to understand. Let's solve another one. Okay, see here another transaction. Goods purchased from Sumit traders for rupees 50,000 on 31st/1/2016. Goods purchased from Sumit traders of rupees 50,000 on 31st/1/2016. See, analyze the transaction. First of all, we analyze the transaction. We purchased the goods. Purchase is nothing but an expenses. Here the expenses is increases because goods is coming into the business. 50,000 is the worth of the goods. So it is an goods we are purchased. It is an expenses. If expenses increased, what will happen? See the format. If expenses are increased, that should be debited. Means purchase account here debited. In the same way for the Sumit traders. See, for Sumit traders, the goods are decreases. That in Sumit trader, goods are decreases because he sent the goods to the another company. Means goods are decreases. If some goods are decreases, means it is a liability. It comes under the liability. If liabilities are increases, goods decreases means liabilities are increases. If liabilities are increases means, if liabilities are increases means increases means it is credited. Liabilities, if liabilities are increases means it is credited. Liability account is increases, that means it is credited. Just post it into the format. See here, in the date it is 31st/1/2016. In particular column, purchase account debited to who is a liability account related to Sumit traders, that is to Sumit account. In narration, being goods purchased from Sumit traders. In narration you should write being goods purchased from Sumit traders, or you can also write goods purchased from the Sumit traders of rupees 50,000. Both the way you can write, whichever you feel easy, you can follow that one. Then here the trade in ledger folio, that will be nil. In debit column, write the amount is 50,000, credit will be nil. For the to Sumit account, debit column will be nil. For the credit column it is 50,000. This is how we solve the transactions, general entries. The purchase account debited to Mohit account. Then another the last one, the last transaction. See, paid monthly monthly store rent of rupees 2,500 in cash on 4/4/2015. This is the transaction. See, first of all we analyze the transaction. Here the payment of rent is just like an expenses. Means these expenses will be paid by the capital of the company. In that case, capital is decreases. If capital decreases, what happen? Capital of the company is decreases, then it will be debited. That means capital account is debited. Capital is decreases means that account will be debited. And the cash also decreases because because the cash is going out from the company for payment of the rent. For that purpose cash is decreases. Cash is a type of a asset. If asset is decreases, that means that it should be credited. Cash account is credited. Again I am repeating here, the payment of rent. Payment of rent is a type of expenses which will be paid by the capital of the company. That's why the capital of the company is decreases. If capital is decreases, that amount should be debited. Here the account related to rent account, that means the rent account is here debited, and the cash the payment is in the form of a cash. In the form of a cash, the rent payment is in the form of a cash. Cash is the type of an asset. If asset is decreases, if asset is decreases, that amount should be credited. The cash is should be credited. Then post it into the format. First of all, the date is 4/4/2015 as given in the transaction, and in particular column rent account debited to cash account. The narration will be being paid of monthly rent, or you can write the transaction, the payment of monthly rent of rupees 2500. You can also write that in the narration. Ledger portfolio, nothing should be right. In the debit column it is 2500, here will be nil. In the to cash account, debit column will be nil. In the credit column it is 2500. This is how we can solve the transaction, or by analyze of the transaction we can post it into the entry. Post the entry. This is how we can solve the journal entries. See, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe my channel. If you have any doubts or any clarification, please write it on the comment box. And in the upcoming videos is related to the concepts of debit, credit and all the accounting concept. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.